Well, hello and welcome to this video for Raid Shadow Legends. This will be episode 7 in my series that I am currently calling and have, I guess, officially designated the Beginner's Bootcamp. The full title, if I was to spell it out, would be the Beginner's Bootcamp or 4 or 2 Raid Shadow Legends, but I wanted to keep it more simple. We've just got through 7 days of rewards. Of these new player rewards, the first part that we got, and now we're on day 8 and we're doing the next 7. So if you are on day 8 of your new account and you're following these videos, you should be in a similar position to me as far as leveling up and everything else. Let me know if that is not the case, if I have messed up somewhere, or if you got stuck somewhere. Please put a comment down there and I will address it. The intention here is that I can get you up and going in your account very quickly and very efficiently without very many mistakes or frustrations. So we got ourselves some of these, is this counterattack? I can't remember off the top of my head. Gear. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. I went and clicked on that. I've also got my daily login. This is an XP boost for 1 day. When I click on this, I will now have an XP boost for 1 day. However, you want to be careful with those, because if you already have an XP boost, if it's already yellow here and you've got one here, you might wait until later in the day. You can collect it at any time between now and 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time PM. So right now it's 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you've got from 5 p.m. basically earlier tonight through 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Anyway, I'm going into here and checking in. I did a really terrible job with the clan boss, so I probably don't even have a reward to pick up now. I don't even have one, because remember we had to get 286,000. I'm going to use these 2 keys though, use them up. I just don't have anybody yet. I think I'd like to do a video, I don't know if I'll do it this episode, but I want to go over getting, trying to put together a clan boss team at this earliest stage in the game. I definitely want this. I want this super duper bad. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. It will require some money. I will be aiming at getting this. I can't pick it up right now. I don't have the funds for it. Oh, I think I might have enough to unlock part of the marketplace. Not yet. I will very shortly unlock this. They always make me click over here. Always make us click over here. I don't know. It's telling us we've got some new events. We've got a summon rush coming, and I don't know if that means we're going to also have a times 10, which means that you do not have double rate, but you have a, within the normal rate of getting epics, legendaries, rares, you have a 10 times chance of getting particular champions. I don't know if it'll be one of those or if it'll be a double rate of some kind. I don't know yet. I haven't heard. Salt has grown silent on his channel, so I don't really know. I mean, he's my main source for news, but I should look around and see what some of the other channels are putting up right now. But once I get that shard, I will probably open it. I think it would be worth it for me to open that. So today, we want to go into detail about Masteries, and I want to show you a little more fine tuning type stuff regarding fighting, which I didn't go over very thoroughly. So we're going to go more in depth on fighting. Going to talk about, I would call it resource management, and talk about hitting a wall. So here's what's going on. As of last night playing, I got to a point where I would say I hit a wall. Now this will happen quite often in Raid Shadow Legends, especially during the beginning stages. You run out of energy or you run out of silver and you just can't do anything. And in my case, I was trying to get particular gear for my champions, and all I was getting is mystery shards 8 times out of 10. I was getting just mystery shard after mystery shard, which is fine. But I mean, you can see now I've got quite a few, and I've opened quite a few. But it wasn't getting me the gear I wanted, and I couldn't push into the game any further. I couldn't do any more here in the dungeons. I don't know if I tried the dungeons very far or not. I couldn't get very far there, I think, but the main thing was I couldn't get very far in the campaign. I first tried to push through the campaign, just get what I could done, and I got stuck here at this dragon. I think it got me stuck the last time when I first started my other main account. And then I tried to go in here and just do the 2-player thing, and I got stuck over here on these stages. I just couldn't get any further. They kept targeting that you have to have both of your champions surviving by the end of it, and I'd always have one dead. So I got frustrated and I turned off the game. And when you hit a wall like that, that's what you have to do. When you run out of silver, when you run out of energy, you've done your arena and you don't want to do anymore, you've done your clan boss, or you're not even in a clan yet, so that doesn't matter. You've done whatever you want to do in faction wars. If anything, right now we really can't do much because we don't have, if we went in here and clicked on any of this, we just have one champion for that faction. And then over here we might have one maybe somewhere, yeah. And then over here we might have one. So really nothing much to do here. And you just get to a point where there's nothing you can do. You don't have the resources to do anything. Even your gems might go down. You might be 0 on all counts up here except for the arena tokens. And you just have these goals you want to do and you can't get anywhere. So when you hit that point, just turn off the game. Just walk away from the game, come back to it the next day, and just don't worry about it. I mean, I think Raid is designed that way by Plarium because they want you to get to that point where you've used up your resources. They keep these resources limited for a reason. Even though they reward you very well with lots of extra stuff all the time, it's still there's still a limit. You're going to run out at some point no matter how efficient you are. And I think it might be designed that way. It could just be an accidental flaw of the game, but I think it might be designed that way because they want you to come in here and they want you to buy something in here. That's what they want you to do. That's why these shards, I was going to talk about this in the part 3 overdub that I still have to do. That's why these guys cycle. You see, you get a free ancient shard in about every 7 days, I think it is, and you get 12 hours, there's going to be another mystery shard here, and they make you come in here and get these because that'll help you look at all of this stuff and draw you in here. Otherwise you might just ignore this because this is part of their ads, I guess you could say, part of their support of their game. And you know, they've got to pay their people because somebody's making all the artwork for this and everything, so I can kind of understand. But just know that when you hit that wall, when you get to a point where you just cannot proceed, don't try to proceed, just quit and come back to it later. Let your energy recharge. You know, take a breath, figure out what you can do. In my case, I think it was what I could do is I could come in, I could mess around with the dungeons a little, so that's what I was going to do next. And then I hit a progress mission that said that it wanted me to unlock a mastery for a champion. Now, this is a problem. I still don't understand the masteries. I don't understand it. It's a complicated system. They give you one reset per champion. And I just don't know exactly the best way to go about it. I mean, I just kind of guess and fly by night on it. There are guides online, but I just kind of like to do my own thing, and I don't know if that's the best approach or not. But we're going to go ahead right now, and we're going to unlock a mastery. So if you're on this progress mission or nearing it, you'll know what to do. Now, to unlock a mastery, you have to take your champions that you want to get scrolls for. You have to take them into the dungeon, and you have to go over here to the Minotaur's Labyrinth. Now, this boss isn't particularly hard, at least for me now, later, I guess, medium to later stage of my main account. It might be really hard right now as a beginning player, I don't know. But I want to get her masteries, his, and hers. Now, order is important. So this is one of the fighting. We'll go ahead and combine this. We'll do the fighting specifics as well. First of all, we got to look at the affinity of our Minotaur boss. And he is of a spirit affinity, which means that any of my people that are of this affinity will be stronger than him. But he's going to be stronger than any of my force affinity, which is these 3 right here. So that's a bit of a problem for me. I had to be aware of that, but these are the ones that I'm working with, so I'm not going to change that. Now, the order of the fight is important. It proceeds first your leader, then this, then this, then this, then this, if I understand correctly. And in the ones where there's just 4 instead of 5, it's this, 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 and then the last one. So, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position. Or, if it's just 4 boxes, it's first position, second position, third position, fourth position. Got it? So I want to go ahead and, let's see, this is faction crypt, so that's of no use to me. So I'm going to go ahead and put her first, because she's my aura skill. Now, I want my debuffers to act next. It's a toss-up between which of these is better, but both of these are kind of my debuffer champions. Then this is my healer champion. I want her next, and then I want my next best attack champion at the very end. So this is the order that I want to come in here with. I'm going to press start. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut away, but I think I'll go through the first fight, but then if I do any other fights, I'll just kind of cut it and try and do it as artistically as possible so you don't get lost. I could fast forward through it all, but I think that's a better approach, just to cut it out. It's extra stuff. Anyway, so when I click on auto, I'm going to go take the speed down by 1. When I click on auto, I can actually select any of these champions that I want to get rid of. All I have to do is click on them. So, in this case, if I wanted to focus on the dungeon boss, I could click on him. And now, except if any of these champions are provoked by any of the others, they would focus their efforts on him. But if I wanted to get rid of his supporting people, I would click on one of them, like so. And then to remove that, I would just click again, and that would remove it. So, 1 click to put it on, 1 click to take it off. And you can select any of your enemies that you want to attack in any order, however you want to do it. In the arena, I use that. I usually fight on auto, and I use that to go after their resurrectors and their healers. I always want to get rid of those people first. So that's kind of how I approach in the arena with that. In this kind of a thing, I see which of these enemy opponents are hitting me the hardest, which ones are the biggest threat, and then I go through and I click on them. So we're going to do another fight here, and then I think I will cut away after I do this fight to the end. I don't know how many of these we will do, but you see that we've got 3 scrolls. I want to make sure I have enough scrolls so I can show you the unlocking. Okay, so we've got a different affinity here, and now we're in an advantage with these because force trumps all of magic, so. And we're on equal affinity with the other. We don't have any spirit, I don't think, so we don't have anybody that's weak. Now, I don't know if that means all of the enemies are also of that kind of an affinity. Let's see what we have here. We just have force. So it looks like your enemies are going to be of that affinity as well, possibly. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what it looks like. Now, you don't get to choose who gets the scrolls as far as I know. It's, again, RNG, just like a lot of aspects of this game. So you just got to keep replaying or going to the next fight until you have enough scrolls. And I don't remember if it's 8 or 10 or 12 or what, or just 3. I don't remember. I'm going to do a couple more fights. Okay, so now this version of the Minotaur was a force affinity. And I did find myself getting stuck in the force dungeon. I haven't been able to get very far here. And so another thing that I found that I could do is I could find a 2-star champion of the opposite affinity that I could turn into my potion dungeon fighter, and he would come in handy as well when fighting any force version of any of the dungeons. All of the dungeons will cycle between the 4 different affinities, so be aware of that. The person I've chosen is this one here, Shield Guard. Once I get him leveled up, I'm going to go ahead and max him out to 30, maybe even take him to 40 or 50, and he's going to become, until I get a champion of the Spirit Affinity, he's going to become my main guy to help me out with these various force dungeons. His skills are a decreased speed debuff. He's a defense champion, which means he'll live a little longer. He doesn't attack all enemy, which is nice, and he fills his champion's turn meter by 20% each critical hit, so I know I need to get his crit rate up. And he has a passive, removing 1 debuff for each turn, and this is unlocking at Ascension level 3. So this will become my force, my opposite to force champion here. because I don't have any force champions that are, spirit champions that are going to be able to help me with those force dungeons. So that's what I started to focus on. And that ties in with what I was saying is resource management. You got to look at what you have access to. At this stage in the game, I do not have any rares that are Spirit Affinity, but I have a lot of access to 1-star and 2-star champions that are of a Spirit Affinity. So I went through all of my available Spirit champions in the 2 and 1-star ranges. Well, I didn't really mess with the 1-star, just stuck with 2-star. And I picked him because he was the best of all of them in my opinion. He's also one that has that number I mentioned in an earlier video that I alluded to. There's that special number that has something to do with how much damage they do, how long, something like that. That's a hidden number that Plarium doesn't reveal. It's very high for him compared to everybody else. I think in the uncommons, or maybe it's just allow champions. I don't know what it's in comparison to. Okay, so the last thing we have to do before we close the video, this will be a short one this time for once. We're going to talk about Masteries. If we can do that on one of these champions, we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to start here with Shaman. So if you click on the Masteries tab, it's after Artifacts, Skills, and Masteries at the very end. You click on Masteries. It tells you how much you need. You need to have 5 to unlock any of these in the top 2. Now, we know that Shaman is a support champion. We know that her skills are going to be removing a random buff. She's based on attack on that, increasing the crit rate, and this revive here that she does. She also places a shield, so anything that will increase the shield and that will increase her livability so that she can stay alive long enough to revive anybody that's dead, I think that would be my focus. If I mess up and I'm not happy with what I do, I will show you there'll be a little reset. So I will most likely start right here, I think. Let me see, where is her health right now? Her health is also very low, but that will be increased with a helmet and stuff. I don't really need to work on the Masteries for that. I think I'll do that. Let me check here. You can go in any of these and find out what they are. So is there anything here that I would like? So here is increases the value of shield buff by 5%. That would be useful. I don't know if that's good enough to get after or not, but that would be useful. So I could give her health and then I could unlock that. Over here I like this blast proof. Decreases damage received from AoE attacks. I think I want to go that route first because I want her to live longer. So I'm going to give her this here, which is the tough skin. Gives her a defense up of 75. I'm going to go 5 to unlock. And now I have that in here. Now it'll take 5 more to unlock one of these, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unlock this as well and do a 2-path. You don't have to do 2 branches, you can do 1. Most people do 2, and they just they have a set wave that they go about. Probably somebody out there has done Shaman and is snickering at what I've chosen. But what I will do now is when I earn enough of these scrolls, 30 of them, I'm going to unlock Blast Proof, I think, and there's this shield one over here. I think that'll be my next 2 for her. But now I have now increased her HP by 810, and I've increased her defense by 75. And I think that's off of her base stat. I'm not 100% sure. So you see that her health is higher now and her defense is higher, so she'll live a little longer. And that's all there is to it with the Masteries. You got to figure out, just like these here, these are your accessories, and it's just like the artifacts. You find the accessory that seems to fit your champion the best. You save these really fancy accessories like this one here. This has an HP flat stat, which is actually, I'm finding that good in the rings because that increases the HP of my champions. I've got attack and HP, so this would be used on HP legendary or epic of legendary quality. I think I would use it on that. I would save it for that. But you just got to figure out what will work. Now, since I didn't have any other choices on rings, I gave her this one, which is okay because she gets that HP, she gets the attack, which is what her skills are based on, so that's fine for her. But I've chosen all of her gear based on, you see I've got HP and attack. I'm trying to get HP up here, so that's why it's a 4-star helmet. It's not a very good helmet, but it has this HP and a little resistance. We've got some critical damage and defense. I'm wanting to get that defense. I got more critical damage and crit rate, which is important for her hitting hard. I've got defense on her chest for her livability with some accuracy. And I need to replace these boots. These will be speed boots eventually, because I want her to go fast, because I want her to get that resurrect. And just as I have to decide on what gear to put on each champion, I got to decide based on their skills, based on their base stats, based on how I'm going to use that champion, what their masteries are going to be. If I'm going to use this champion in the campaign, that might be a different set of masteries than if I used her in a clan boss. They talk about, you'll see articles on us all the time, there's some skills somewhere around here that allow you to put a whole bunch of damage on like a clan boss. And like a giant killer and a war slayer or something, and it might be over here in the offense tree. And I don't know that she is going to be used for that, but if I was going to use her for a clan boss and she was going to be one of my main AoE attack type champions for the clan boss, I would want to work towards one of those because I would want that skill on them. But if I'm using the champion in the campaign, it's not so useful to have something based off max HP except for when I'm fighting any kind of a end boss. It's not as useful just going through waves of trash, essentially. So, but in her case, she's a support champion. I need her to live long enough to resurrect people, and I want her to get the max. I want the people that she resurrects at the maximum benefit, the maximum amount of shield, and the maximum amount of health that they can have. So that's why I decided that. And that may not be the best choice. And there might be a better approach. Be sure to comment, leave a suggestion, thoughts below if you have them, but that's the way I've decided to go. And with that, we will conclude this video. I'm going to go ahead, and I've got a few minutes left. I'm going to do an auto fight, and I'm going to get this ancient shard. I'm going to get it. I swear I will. And now I've unlocked this progress mission, so I can grab that. And then my next one here, now it didn't work very well here. It should have kept track of this because I've already cleared stage 1 or higher of the Minotaur's Labyrinth. I'll go ahead and fight in the Minotaur's Labyrinth one more time because then I'll get this. And then this might come through because I've already done that. And this will give me the silver I need towards that crystal. And then I will open it. I don't know if I'll open it tonight or if I'll open it on the video with you guys for the next video. I'll have to see what I decide to do. It'd be sucky to open it up and get a legendary and not share that moment with you. Maybe what I'll do is I will stop the video here. I'll do another recording after I get done, and then I'll open it, and then I can add that to the end if it's worth adding. How about I do that? I'll see you guys in the next video. Thumb up if you liked the video. Thumb down if you did not. If you give a thumb down, please leave feedback. Let me know what I can do to improve. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. I will continue to slam these videos out this week, and starting the beginning of next week, I'll be gone this weekend. So should have enough to fill my quota. You know, you got to do a certain amount of videos every week for Raid if you want to have any hope of getting into creator programs. So that's what we're still trying for in my main account. So that's what we're going to be doing. But for this week, we'll just keep going because I want to keep that continuity. So look for the next part. See you guys in the next episode.